Hey boys and girls, welcome back. It's me, Keith the Misprint Guy, and welcome to week 24, in which I share with you all kinds of strange and unusual cards from my game called Magic the Gathering. Misprints, test prints, if there's something downright weird with it, I want to share it with you. Now what do I have for you this week? Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you saw last week's episode, but one of the things that I shared with you were cards that, they got eaten by the machine, for lack of better terminology for you. Now here's the thing, it's one thing to have a card with a problem with it, and then there's always a card that, man, it's just like 10 times worse. So let me kind of show you an example here. For lack of better terms, here we go. This is a dual land and it is miscut. It just barely shows a second card. And then, there's always that miscut that looks 10 times worse. This card right here, it just barely shows 4 cards. And then, last week I shared with you that Scalding Tarn, and it has this damage here because, like I said, didn't exactly agree with the machine. Ended up looking like this. Well, I just got one more card that I had to devote a special week to. So let me just, zoom in and I'll show you all that fun stuff, because I'm telling you what, a scan just won't do it. Alright, what we have here, this is a Flay. Obviously not a very good common, but the level of screwed upness, this really just takes the cake. So let me show you what's going on here. On the back, we have this white here and white here. Now, if you've watched my other videos, I've talked about how a sheet is laid out, and this is undoubtedly because of the white. This is the corner of a sheet. Now, the interesting thing is, before anything went wrong, the back had to have been printed properly, because if you can see under the scrunched area, you can see all that, all that magic. Just the words, you can tell that there's, with the printing underneath, that everything was at one point just fine. And then after that was, after this back was printed like this, it had to have gotten scrunched up in the corner area. And then after it got scrunched up, then the back, the front was printed. Now if you look, you can actually see that there's white underneath there, because in this area here, this would have been the thickness of 4 cards because of how everything got folded underneath. So yeah, just by seeing just how screwed up something like this is, this can tell you exactly how bad things can get, and this card was pulled out of a pack. Now the person that pulled this card out of the pack also got this Flay, and if you look carefully, you will see that there's this mark going across the artwork, and that is because that this card would have been directly above it, and then with several sheets, the pressure being placed down on this before the cards were perfectly dried would have left that mark on this card. So with this being a small set, hell, all you gotta do is buy like 3 packs and you can get a duplicate of the same common. So yeah, like I said, this one really takes the cake. This is something that I even have a hard time putting into a sleeve, just because of how it's all weird and scrunched up. So yeah, feel free to comment and let me know if you have anything this weird. But other than that, questions, comments, concerns, you all feel free to get a hold of me. Otherwise, I will see you next week. So take care.